Hey y'all. I've been watching this sub ever since my D-Day and think it's time to finally post. I'm 27F, my WS was 30F. We were together for 6 years, married for 5. My WS and I met while I was enlisted in the Navy, and the beginning of our relationship was intense and fast-moving. WS was, at that time, married to a man. She had told me that they had not slept together for nearly a year before she met me and that they were both in an open relationship and seeing other people. Being young, naive, and foolish, I chose to trust her word on this without verifying with her spouse. There were red flags everywhere. Some flags I knew and chose to ignore. WS' father had an affair with someone when WS was a teenager. Her father introduced his daughter to his AP in secret, and the three of them used to hang out behind her mother's back. When WS's mother found out, she took the dad back. In a way, I think this normalized cheating to WS, and set her up for unhealthy expectations of relationships in her future. WS eventually told me she had cheated on every significant other that she had ever had, but that it was different with me. I was her first lesbian relationship and sexual partner, and she was adamant that for the first time in her life, she felt fully whole. I believed her. I felt special. I was not. We got married 9 months after I left the Navy. She went to nursing school, I pursued a BS in criminology. I worked full-time, took care of the house and animals, and always paid for everything when we went out. We were both receiving GI Bill money, but I always felt like in order to show I care, I need to pay the lion's share of things and make life as comfortable as possible for her. Nursing school is no joke, but looking back I believe I was being used as a caretaker. I have always struggled with codependency in my relationships, and I felt that the more of her burdens I took on, the better and more deserving I would be. Looking back, I was a bit pathetic. I developed a binge eating disorder and gained nearly 70 pounds over the course of a year and a half. I was not well. Once she had her degree and license, we moved for her job. I had gotten my degree as well, but was having a hard time finding work. I managed to get a security job at the same hospital as WS, but was always looking for more. Now that she was making more money, I thought she'd pitch in more. This is where her contempt for me showed itself. She grew distant and cruel. At the beginning of the relationship, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. We both had very high libidos. But after the work move, I had to ask for the slightest bit of attention. She no longer curled up with me on the couch, electing instead to lay on the love seat on the other side of the room. She told me that by asking for sex, I made the whole thing feel transactionary and not natural. I would say, if you don't want me to ask, why are you completely unavailable 24/7? Why don't you try? I began sleeping in the guest room, thinking that perhaps some time in our own spaces would make the time together more meaningful. I remember laying there, hoping with every fiber of my being she would walk through that door. It never happened. She began spending more time at work. COVID precautions had just started, so the hospital needed nurses to work a lot of overtime. At least that's what she told me. We both worked overnight shifts. I struggle with depression, and during this time I was at my absolute lowest point. No friends, far from family, and my spouse couldn't care less. I tried asking that we go to couples and individual therapy. That only got an annoyed sigh. To make this a little shorter, day occurred when I found out she wasn't at work when she should have been. I confronted her when she got home, and she got angry. She refused to show me her phone, but I got a hold of it and found the messages. She had been having an affair with a 45M coworker for months, maybe even since we first moved. I will never forget scrolling through those messages in front of her, and the way her eyes clouded when the videos of the two of them together were playing for me to see. This man had come to my house, ate dinner that I had prepared, and then had sex with my wife on the couch the minute I left the house for work, and recorded it. Because I trusted her and her assertion that she was 100% a lesbian. My world was shattered. I gathered my dogs and as much of my things as I could, and fled. I drove 5 hours to my parents' house, talking to whoever I could on my phone list to stop myself from turning around or sobbing too hard. The next few months were horrible. WS and AP kept at it during this time, and I foolishly kept working to improve myself, blaming myself, hating myself. If only I had done more, if only I had kept my depression hidden, if only I had gotten a better job to support her. All the self-loathing I had ever felt cascaded over me. And the rage. The violent, murderous, impotent rage. At myself, her, the AP. Eventually, I had a breakthrough. I am not to blame for this, and I must stop making every excuse in the world for why she did this. This was a calculated decision to live in a selfish fantasy. I came to terms with the fact that with a cheater, no one is special. Their cycles will repeat no matter how good their current partner is. I was by no means a saint, I messed up a lot. But this kind of betrayal is so far beyond what I deserve that I have to place it completely outside myself. It really has nothing to do with the person I am and everything to do with the person they are. Here I am now, nearing a year today. By the time it rolls around, I will be 1,800 miles away from here and starting a new life for myself. I lost the weight, defeated the eating disorder, and am more fit than I've ever been before. Without the constant drain on my finances, I have saved enough to live alone comfortably for some time. I have met someone wonderful, and we are taking it very slowly. I have healed and come to terms with my failed marriage, but know it will be a very long time before I will fully trust anyone with my heart again. And that's okay. The heart is a liar and will lead you into relationships with potential as seen through rose-colored glasses. By allowing my mind instead of my heart to take the lead in romantic decisions, I allow myself to observe with a clear mind. I feel far less codependent now. People come and go, and I am learning to enjoy them while they're here, free from expectation of more. The best advice I can give anyone going through infidelity is that you are not broken, and you will survive this. You are not responsible for the actions of others, and even though it may feel like all is lost when you're in the thick of it, you will come out the other side with a resiliency you never knew you had. Learn from what has happened, protect your heart, and the pain will fade in time. This is a new chapter in your life. Fill it with light.